Only a few dozen of these animals still exist on Earth, and most people will never see one in real life. Right now, hidden deep within the last wild places on this planet, there are creatures so strange, they look like they belong to another world. A glowing pink dolphin swimming through the dark waters of the Amazon River. A giant bird that cannot fly, wandering through forests like an ancient dinosaur. A tiny fish that survives inside a single cave in the middle of a deadly desert. And one mysterious animal, so rare, almost nobody has ever seen it alive. But here's the most terrifying part. Some of the creatures in today's video are disappearing so fast, they could go extinct before most of humanity even learns their names. Not spread across continents. Not found in multiple countries. But existing only in one forest, one island, one river, or one isolated mountain on the entire planet. From islands cut off from the world for millions of years, to hidden cloud forests few humans have ever explored. Nature has created creatures that break every rule we thought we understood. Some have impossible colors. Some possess abilities that feel almost supernatural. And the number one animal on this list? Maybe the rarest wild cat still alive on Earth. This is Hidden Animals of the World, animals that exist in only one place on the planet. Number 15. The Kakapo. The world's heaviest parrot, that forgot how to fly. Deep in the forests of New Zealand lives one of the strangest birds ever created. At first glance, the Kakapo almost looks imaginary. It has moss-green feathers mixed with black spots, a round owl-like face, tiny wings, and a body so heavy it can weigh over 4 kilograms. But the most unbelievable part? This parrot cannot fly. Millions of years ago, New Zealand had almost no land predators. So the Kakapo slowly evolved into a ground-dwelling bird. It climbed trees instead of flying. It walked through forests instead of soaring above them. And over time, flight simply disappeared from its life. Today, the Kakapo exists only on a few protected predator-free islands in New Zealand. There are barely over 200 individuals left alive. That means there are fewer Kakapos on Earth than passengers on a single airplane. And yet, despite being critically endangered, the Kakapo has become one of the internet's most beloved animals. Why? Because it behaves unlike any parrot on Earth. It is nocturnal. It smells strangely sweet, almost like flowers and honey, and during mating season, males create deep booming sounds that echo through entire valleys at night. Imagine walking through a dark ancient forest, and hearing low mysterious vibrations coming from the trees around you. Like drums from another world. Scientists say the Kakapo may live over 60 years. Some individuals are monitored more carefully than celebrities. Every egg matters, every chick matters, every surviving bird is part of one of the most expensive conservation programs in human history. And without that effort, this species would already be gone forever. Number 14. The axolotl. The smiling creature that never grows up. Hidden in the ancient waterways near Mexico City lives an animal so bizarre that scientists once believed it belonged to mythology. The axolotl looks like a tiny underwater dragon. It has feather-like external gills, a permanent smile, small delicate limbs, and eyes that seem almost emotionless. But what makes this creature truly extraordinary is that it never fully becomes an adult. Most amphibians transform as they age. Tadpoles become frogs, larvae become salamanders. But the axolotl remains forever in its juvenile aquatic form. It lives its entire life underwater, like a child that never grows up. And somehow, that is exactly what made it famous around the world. But here is the tragic reality. Wild axolotls now survive naturally in only a tiny network of canals in Xochimilco. Urban expansion, pollution, and invasive fish species nearly erased them from existence. In fact, scientists once feared they had already vanished from the wild completely. Yet somehow, small populations continue surviving in hidden corners of these ancient waters. And their abilities are almost supernatural. An axolotl can regenerate limbs, parts of its spinal cord, its heart, and even sections of its brain. Imagine losing an arm, and simply growing it back naturally. Researchers around the world study axolotls hoping their biology may one day help humans heal devastating injuries. So while this smiling little creature may look cute, it could secretly hold biological mysteries that change medicine forever. Number 13. The Saola. The Asian unicorn almost nobody has seen alive. There are rare animals? And then there is the Saola. Discovered only in 1992 near the mountains between Vietnam and Laos, the Saola became one of the most shocking zoological discoveries of the modern era. Imagine discovering a large mammal in the 1990s that science didn't even know existed. That actually happened. The Saola has long straight horns, dark elegant fur, and mysterious white facial markings that make it look almost sacred. Local villagers knew about it for generations. But the outside world had no idea it existed. And even today, Almost nobody has seen one alive in the wild. Camera traps capture only brief ghost-like appearances. A shadow crossing the forest. A pair of horns in dense jungle. A silent animal disappearing into fog. Scientists believe only a few dozen may remain. Maybe fewer. No zoo on Earth has successfully kept Saolas alive for long. There are almost no videos of them, very few photographs exist. Which means somewhere in the forests of Southeast Asia, one of the rarest mammals on Earth is still quietly surviving, hidden from humanity. Almost like nature itself is trying to keep a secret. Number 12. The Pink River Dolphin. The dolphin that legends say transforms into a human. Deep inside the rivers of the Amazon rainforest swims a creature so strange that local legends fear it. The Amazon River dolphin, also called the Bodo, is unlike any dolphin most people have ever seen. Its skin is bright pink, its neck bends like a human's, and its long narrow snout looks almost prehistoric. Adult males can become even pinker with age and emotion, some turn nearly bubblegum colored beneath sunlight. And in muddy Amazon waters, the sight feels unreal. But the myths surrounding them are even stranger. For centuries, Amazon folklore claimed these dolphins transform into handsome men during moonlit nights, enter riverside villages, and seduce humans before disappearing back into the water before sunrise. Many communities still treat them with deep respect and fear. And biologically, they are extraordinary. Unlike ocean dolphins, pink river dolphins can rotate their heads nearly 90 degrees. That flexibility helps them navigate flooded forests filled with submerged trees and roots. Imagine an entire underwater forest, and a pink dolphin weaving silently between branches beneath dark brown water. They use advanced echolocation powerful enough to locate fish hidden in mud. But sadly, their future is uncertain. Pollution, dams, fishing nets, and habitat destruction continue reducing their numbers. And because they exist only within the Amazon and Orinoco river systems, there is nowhere else on Earth for them to go. Number 11. The Devil's Hole Pupfish. The fish trapped inside a cave smaller than a living room. In the middle of the desert in Nevada exists one of the strangest survival stories on Earth. Inside a tiny geothermal cave called Devil's Hole, lives a fish found nowhere else in existence. The Devil's Hole Pupfish. This tiny metallic blue fish survives in water that reaches nearly 34 degrees Celsius, the oxygen levels are dangerously low, the habitat is microscopic. In fact, their entire world is smaller than many people's bedrooms. And yet somehow, life continues there. Scientists believe this species became trapped thousands of years ago when ancient lakes disappeared from the desert. Over time, the fish evolved in total isolation. Today, the population sometimes drops below 100 individuals. Imagine an entire species fitting inside a single small room. Security cameras guard the cave 24 hours a day. Access is heavily restricted, because if something happens to this tiny water source, an entire species disappears forever. No second habitat.no backup population.no other location on Earth. Just one cave, hidden in the desert. Number 10. The Blue-Footed Booby. The bird whose feet look painted by hand. On the volcanic islands of Galapagos Islands lives a bird so strange-looking that people once believed explorers invented stories about it. The blue-footed booby. Its bright turquoise blue feet look almost fake under sunlight. But those feet are not random. The brighter the blue, the healthier the bird. During courtship, males perform hilarious dances, lifting each foot dramatically one at a time, showing off their color like a runway model. Imagine standing on black volcanic rock beside the Pacific Ocean, while dozens of birds perform synchronized dances under golden sunset light. It looks absurd, beautiful, and strangely adorable at the same time. These islands shaped some of the most important scientific discoveries in human history. And the blue-footed booby became one of the symbols of evolution itself. But despite their popularity, their ecosystem remains fragile. Ocean temperature changes affect fish populations, and when fish disappear, entire breeding seasons fail. Which means even these famous birds are more vulnerable than most people realize. Number 9. The okapi. The forest giraffe nobody believed was real. At first glance, the okapi looks impossible. It has the body of a horse, the face of a giraffe, and striped legs that resemble a zebra. For years, explorers heard rumors about this mysterious creature hidden in the rainforests of Democratic Republic of the Congo. Many believed it was just another myth. Until science finally confirmed its existence in the early 1900s. The okapi is actually the giraffe's closest living relative. But unlike giraffes living openly on African savannas, okapis evolved in deep isolated rainforest. Their striped legs help camouflage them among shifting forest shadows. And their long dark tongues are so flexible, they can clean their own eyes. Imagine an animal so secretive, that entire civilizations lived without knowing it existed. Even today, okapis remain extremely difficult to observe in the wild. Civil conflict, poaching, and habitat destruction threaten the forests they depend on. And because they survive only in this isolated region of Congo, their future remains uncertain. Number 8. The Komodo Dragon. The last living dragon on Earth. There are places on this planet that still feel prehistoric. And the islands of Indonesia are one of them. Because this is home to the Komodo dragon, the largest lizard alive on Earth. Some grow over 3 meters long and weigh more than 90 kilograms. Their claws are massive, their tongues flick constantly through the air, and their bite contains dangerous bacteria and venom-like toxins capable of weakening prey. Watching one walk across dry volcanic terrain feels like watching a dinosaur survive extinction. And perhaps the most terrifying part? Komodo dragons are patient hunters. They can stalk prey silently, sometimes for hours. Deer, wild pigs, even water buffalo. Nothing feels safe near them. Yet despite their terrifying reputation, they exist naturally only on a handful of Indonesian islands. Climate change now threatens those fragile habitats. Rising temperatures, human expansion, and declining prey populations may reduce their territory dramatically within this century. Which means even the world's closest thing to a dragon is not invincible. Number 7. The quokka. The happiest animal on Earth. Somewhere on a small island near Perth lives an animal that accidentally became famous worldwide for one simple reason. It always looks like it is smiling. The quokka is a tiny marsupial with round ears, bright eyes, and a permanent cheerful expression. Photos of quokkas exploded across social media because they appear unbelievably friendly and happy. But their story is more fragile than most people realize. Today, wild quokkas survive mainly on Rottnest Island and a few isolated regions of Western Australia. Predators introduced to mainland Australia devastated their populations over time. And without protected habitats, they might have disappeared completely. At night, quokkas quietly wander through shrubs and coastal vegetation searching for leaves and grasses. They are curious, gentle, and surprisingly fearless around humans. But behind those smiling faces is a species surviving only because isolation protected it from extinction. Sometimes the cutest animals on Earth are also among the most vulnerable. Number 6. The golden snub-nosed monkey. The monkey that survives frozen mountain winters. High in the snowy forests of central China lives a monkey unlike any other primate on Earth. Its fur glows golden orange beneath winter sunlight, its face is pale blue, and its tiny upturned nose almost looks unfinished. The golden snub-nosed monkey survives in freezing mountain environments where temperatures fall far below zero. Most monkeys could never survive conditions like this. But these extraordinary primates adapted to snow-covered forests high above the clouds. Sometimes entire families huddle together tightly for warmth while snow falls silently around them. The image feels almost magical. Yet they remain threatened by habitat fragmentation and deforestation. Their mountain forests are isolated from one another, splitting populations apart. And because they exist only in a limited region of China, their survival depends entirely on protecting those ancient forests. Number 5. The Aye. The primate many people once believed was cursed. Hidden within the forests of Madagascar lives one of the strangest primates evolution ever produced. The Aye. Large glowing eyes, bat-like ears, dark shaggy fur, and one extremely long skeletal middle finger. At night, the Aye taps tree bark rapidly, listening for hollow spaces beneath the wood. Then it chews through the bark and uses its elongated finger to pull insects out from inside trees. Almost like nature created its own tiny horror movie creature. Unfortunately, local superstitions once caused people to kill Ayes on sight, believing they brought bad luck. Combined with habitat destruction, that fear pushed populations dangerously low. And because Madagascar evolved separately from most of the world for millions of years, many of its animals exist nowhere else on Earth. Including this bizarre nocturnal primate. The Aye proves that evolution can sometimes create creatures more unbelievable than fiction itself. Number 4. The red wolf. America's rarest wolf. Once, red wolves roamed huge parts of the southeastern United States. Today, wild populations survive only in tiny protected areas of North Carolina. That makes them one of the rarest canids on Earth. Red wolves are smaller and slimmer than gray wolves, their fur carries reddish-brown tones across the face, ears, and legs. And unlike many large predators, their greatest threat was never nature. It was humans. Hunting, habitat destruction, and hybridization with coyotes nearly erased them completely. By the 1980s, they were declared extinct in the wild. But conservationists captured the remaining survivors and began one of the most ambitious breeding programs in American history. Thanks to those efforts, small wild populations returned. But their numbers remain critically low. Imagine being part of a species where every single birth matters to global survival. That is the reality of the red wolf. Number 3. The Jersey Devil of the Sea. The leafy sea dragon. Off the southern coast of Australia drifts a marine animal so bizarre it looks like floating seaweed brought to life. The leafy sea dragon. Its body is covered in elaborate leaf-like appendages designed perfectly for camouflage. As ocean currents move, the creature sways exactly like drifting underwater plants. Predators swim past without noticing anything unusual. And from a distance, it does not even look alive. Unlike powerful predators of the ocean, leafy sea dragons survive through invisibility. Slowly drifting through kelp forests, hiding in plain sight. They are close relatives of seahorses, and just like seahorses, males carry the eggs. Watching one underwater feels less like observing an animal, and more like discovering fantasy creatures hidden beneath the sea. But warming oceans and habitat destruction threaten their fragile ecosystem. And because they exist naturally only along specific Australian coastlines, their future depends entirely on protecting those waters. Number 2. The white lion. The ghost predator of Africa. In certain regions of South Africa, legends speak of lions touched by the stars. White lions are not albino, they possess a rare genetic condition called leucism, which dramatically lightens their fur while keeping normal eye pigmentation. The result is breathtaking. Pale cream fur, snow-colored manes, piercing blue or golden eyes. Under moonlight, they almost appear supernatural. For years, many African tribes considered them sacred animals sent by the heavens. But their rarity also made them targets. Captive breeding, trophy hunting, and illegal trade pushed many populations into danger. True wild white lions remain extraordinarily rare. And despite their unusual appearance, they hunt just as effectively as ordinary lions. Especially at night, when pale fur blends surprisingly well into moonlit grasslands. Imagine hearing a lion roar echo across the African night, and realizing the predator approaching is completely white. That image alone feels unforgettable. Number 1. The Amur Leopard. The rarest big cat on Earth. Somewhere within the frozen forests near the border of Russia and China, one of the most beautiful predators alive still walks silently through snow. The Amur Leopard. Its fur becomes thick and pale during winter, its rosettes spread wide across golden cream-colored fur, and its eyes glow like fire in darkness. Built for survival in freezing climates, the Amur leopard can leap over 6 meters horizontally and drag prey much heavier than itself through snow-covered forests. But despite its incredible abilities, it almost disappeared forever. Poaching, deforestation, forest fires, and human expansion reduced the population to terrifyingly low numbers. At one point, scientists feared fewer than 30 remained in the wild. Imagine an entire species of leopard, reduced to numbers smaller than a classroom of students. Conservation programs helped stabilize populations slightly, but the Amur leopard remains one of the rarest cats on Earth. And because it survives only in this isolated corner of the planet, its fate depends entirely on protecting those final forests. If they disappear, so does one of Earth's most magnificent predators. Forever. The deeper we explore this planet, the more we realize how fragile life truly is. Some of these animals survived for millions of years, only to become endangered during a single human lifetime. Others remain hidden so completely that most people will never even hear their names. And somewhere out there, deep inside forests, rivers, mountains, and oceans, there are still creatures waiting to be discovered. So, which hidden animal amazed you the most? Tell us in the comments below. And if you love discovering rare, beautiful, and mysterious wildlife from around the world, make sure you subscribe to CurioVerse Wild for more cinematic journeys into the hidden side of nature. Because the next unbelievable creature may already be waiting in the shadows.